Tarpon are a remarkable fish, not because of their sheer size, but they're also so visual, they're acrobatic, they're in the clear water, they're coming up in the shallows, and sometimes it's just unexpected, and tarpon are just unpredictable.
It's the hunt involved in catching tarpon as well as catching the tarpon. You know, you might see them, you might find them, trying to get them to eat, stalking them, sneaking up to them makes that much more gratifying when you're able to hook one, fight one, and land one.
BTT was founded by anglers in Florida more than 20 years ago. Our mission is to conserve bonefish, tarpon, and permit, the fish, their habitats, and the larger fisheries they comprise. Here in Southwest Florida, BTT is working to protect and restore vital juvenile tarpon habitat.
Tarpon live to about 60 to 80 years old, and in 2014, an international study classified them as vulnerable, which means that we've lost about 30% of our adult tarpon population. This isn't from overfishing, this is from habitat, and more specifically, juvenile habitat degradation and decline. Some potential solutions for habitat degradation and loss is to, one, protect the habitat that's still natural, where we're finding juvenile tarpon, or two, habitat restoration in some of these altered habitats. Bonefish and Tarpon Trust is currently monitoring a nursery habitat restoration project where we implemented 3 different design plans to see not only can we restore juvenile habitats, but what's the best way to restore juvenile habitats. Although that project is ongoing, we're already seeing more juvenile tarpon and they're faster growing. Projects like these will have promising effects on the young fish joining the adult fishery. And through satellite tagging, we know that they go down to depths of about 300 to 400 feet before shooting up to the surface. We think that pressure change helps to release the sperm and eggs out into the open ocean. Once the eggs fertilize and hatch, they begin the larval stage. A larval tarpon looks nothing like the tarpon that we're fishing for today. They can be classified as about a transparent inch-long worm that's making its way through ocean currents. Once the larvae come into the estuaries, they're looking for calm backwaters that are still tidally influenced, so we have that salty water coming in, not necessarily up the freshwater rivers. Another advantage in these nursery habitats to calm water is that it has low dissolved oxygen. Tarpon have a modified swim bladder, so they're able to come to the surface and take air. They don't need it mixed into the water. We think juveniles spend about 2 to 3 years in these nursery habitats before they immigrate back out into the estuary. Because tarpon don't mature until about 8 to 10 years old, they spend a few years kind of finding their way as subadults.
So I think a big thing that all guides should get behind is the conservation of our area. This is how we make our living. This is how many places around our area make their living, whether it's restaurants, hotels, gas stations. Without our fishery and our waters, we would have a big issue in our area. That's what made me decide to get on with Bonefish and Tarpon Trust. The work that they do to bring the studies and the science to our area has helped out tremendously. So for the last 5 years, I've jumped on with Bonefish and Tarpon Trust, got involved with the tagging program. It's been a great success. So since I was a kid, our fishery out here has changed quite a bit. Fishing wise, water quality wise, we've seen a big change in the quality of the fish and the quality of our water. It's impacted us greatly as far as the number of fish and how easy it is to catch them.
Tarpon are economically important for the region and part of an over $9 billion recreational saltwater fishery in the state of Florida. One of the best ways that anglers can conserve tarpon is to practice proper catch and release. So conserving tarpon is not only important from an ecological point of view, but also an economic one. In 2015, BTT started using acoustic tags in receivers in order to track movements and habitat use of tarpon 20 pounds and up. This project, which was sponsored by Maverick Boats, has really paved the way into long-term movement patterns of tarpon that we weren't able to capture with satellite tags. One fish tagged in 2016 in Charlotte Harbor made its way from the summer up the east coast of Florida following the mullet run in the fall, all the way to South Carolina, pretty close to the North Carolina border, then came back down to the Everglades, overwintered in the Shark River, then came back to Charlotte Harbor the following late spring, early summer, and did the same movement pattern for 2 years in a row. Data used specifically from acoustic tagging of tarpon was used to support new regulations in North Carolina to make tarpon catch and release. To learn more about BTT and how you can support our tarpon conservation efforts, visit btt.org.